Texas is now planning to appeal a court ruling on its conservative redistricting attempt.
After hearing 10 days of testimony, the judges determined that Texas congressional districts were drawn along racial, not partisan lines. On Fox News, Governor Greg Abbott said there's little difference.
These districts are going to show that Hispanics and blacks are voting for Republican, and Republican is their candidate of choice.
He says Texas will immediately take its case to the U.S. Supreme Court. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
A Chicago woman wants answers from Franciscan Health in Crown Point, Indiana, after she was discharged from the hospital while still in active labor and forced to deliver her baby on the highway minutes later.
I was stripped of my dignity as a person because I was treated less than an animal.
Mercedes Wells says the nurse sent her home without ever seeing a doctor. She claims discrimination, wants the nurse to be fired. Investigators in at least 3 states say they found By Heart infant formula still on store shelves weeks after a recall over potentially deadly botulism cases in babies. At least 31 babies in 15 states who drank the formula have been hospitalized. No deaths have been reported. Target is hinting that its holiday season might be more subdued as the retailer reports a drop in third-quarter profits. The stock has lost nearly 35% of its value so far this year. Target's sales were hurting from high inflation and tariffs before the shutdown delayed federal pay and delayed food stamps. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
News Talk 610 AM and 102.1 FM. KVNU.
It's now 5:05 on this Wednesday afternoon, and I'm Will Feelight with your local headlines. A Utah Valley University student reportedly lost almost $3,000 in a phishing scam where cyber criminals posed as a professor to lure students into a fake paid project. Now, the scam targeted students with an email that looked legitimate, offering a paid professor-led project that required setting up an account and then sending money. Now, one professor, Dustin Harding, said that the email was highly believable because it seemed like something that any professor would write. Now, Timothy Johnston with the Better Business Bureau said that employment scams are particularly risky for young adults, noting how scammers know that the younger generation is actively seeking job opportunities. Now, cybersecurity expert Brandon Armature, who also teaches at UVU, warned that Utah ranks high when it comes to affinity-based scams. Those are cons based on trusting community members, and that makes this targeted attack especially compelling. Well, in other news, Deseret Peak High School was placed on a secure hold protocol yesterday after cocaine was discovered in a girl's bathroom, resulting in 3 people being exposed and 1 staff member requiring hospitalization. Tooele County School District official Brett Valdez said the secure hold was initiated after the unknown substance was discovered. Now, while outside doors were locked, classes did continue inside the school. Now, the Tooele Police Department said they responded and confirmed the substance was cocaine. 2 staff members and 1 student showed symptoms of exposure, and 1 staff member later was taken to a hospital but is reportedly doing well, according to Valdez. Meanwhile, the student was medically checked and sent home. Police say they're now investigating where the cocaine may have come from. And a Harriman man has been charged with multiple counts of aggravated child abuse and domestic violence assault following allegations of abuse against his 11-year-old son and a woman. Now, the 38-year-old suspect faces 2 counts of aggravated child abuse, a second-degree felony, among other charges. Now, charging documents allege the abuse started in 2023. Now, the boy told police that his father once grabbed him by the neck, lifted him after the child had lied about taking medication, and threatened to kill him. Now, the child also alleged that his father punched him in the stomach, causing him to struggle to breathe. In a 2024 incident, the father also allegedly opened a box cutter and told the child to, quote, end it now. Now, the suspect's former partner also reported multiple physical assaults. Both she and another woman have a protective order against the suspect. Well, clouds continuing overnight tonight, and we still could see a small chance of some isolated showers and thunderstorms as temperatures are going to drop into the mid-30s this evening. Tomorrow, we'll be back into the low 50s. The clouds expected to burn off by tomorrow afternoon, and that'll bring us some sunny skies for Thursday afternoon and sunshine continuing Friday and into the weekend. And weather this hour brought to you by Dr. Keith Nilsson, offering board-certified orthopedic surgery and experience in successful surgeries for sports medicine and arthritis, along with knee pain. It's Dr. Keith Nilsson. Learn more about how you can live pain-free by visiting his website, drkeithnilssonortho.com. And I'm Will Feelright for KVNU News.
Breaking news, stimulating talk. News Talk, KVNU, 610 AM and 102.1 FM.
Let Elements Restaurant take the work out of your Thanksgiving feast. Enjoy a full-course, chef-prepared holiday dinner, perfectly roasted turkey with sage gravy, cranberry sauce, garlic mashed potatoes, whipped sweet potatoes, traditional stuffing, green beans, and your choice of pumpkin pie, apple galette, or pecan pie. All pre-cooked and ready to serve. Available for pickup the Wednesday before Thanksgiving from 3 p.m. to 7:50 p.m. Relax and enjoy a gourmet Thanksgiving at home. Pre-order today. Call Elements Restaurant 750-5171. That's 750-5171. Because great holidays start with great food.
Hi, this is Ashley with LSS Insurance. The Medicare annual enrollment period is here, and now's your chance to compare plans and get coverage that really works for you. Whether it's a Medicare supplement, Medicare Advantage plan, or a prescription drug plan, we'll walk you through your options personally. Call 752-9493 to speak with a licensed agent right here in Cache Valley. No pressure, no cost, just local help you can count on. Don't wait. Annual enrollment ends December 7th. Call LSS Insurance 752-9493.
Thank you for letting Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, the Allergy Clinic, and the Hearing Aid Center care for your family this year. Be sure to call us for an appointment before the end of the year to make the most of your cafeteria or flex funds. Located in Providence and North Logan, Cache Valley ENT also has offices in Box Elder, Rich, Bear Lake, and Franklin counties. The entire team at Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat wish you and your family a healthy holiday season. Go to CacheValleyENT.com for details. Most insurance plans, including Select Health, are accepted.
Copiers, printers, service, and supplies are just the beginning. Les Olson IT is the premier source for your business's structured cabling, IT, software, telephones, and security systems. We partner with you to find the ideal solution to all of your office technology needs. Tell us your goals and we'll get you there. Find out more at lesolson.com.
Les Olson IT.
And you can dance. For inspiration. Come on. I'm waiting.
Welcome back to KVN News for the people. Thanks again to Logan City Mayor Holly Danes for being with us in Hour 1 and our Speak to the Mayor segment. Again, shortened just a bit with some technology challenges there at the start of the hour, but she will be back with us next month as well for what will be her final Speak to the Mayor segment. We will look back on her 8 years as mayor, but also her lengthy amount of time on the Logan City Council as well. And thanks again to Mayor Danes for doing that all of these years. And that actually dates back to, I think, the first one of those we did with Mayor Watts. So it's been a while. But we'll keep them going. Incoming, or mayor-elect, I guess they say, Mark Anderson has agreed to continue these segments with us into the new year and his new administration once he assumes the office officially. So thanks again to Mayor Danes. Moving right along here, we have a very special guest joining us. As part of our ongoing effort, we do this every year ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday. We try to spotlight nonprofits and community organizations doing good in Utah. And we have tried to pick a different one each show, last week, this week, and what we have of next week before the holiday. So we'll keep that going. And today, an opportunity to spot an organization called Utah Families Feeding Families. This is one of my favorite organizations to talk about because what they do is really creative and unique. You can see more about what they do and what we're about to discuss at UtahFamiliesFeedingFamilies.com. And I've linked to that on our Facebook page as well. But we have with us now from Utah Families Feeding Families, Keisha Pink. And Keisha, appreciate taking some time for KVNU today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
This is, it's kind of an understatement to say this is a unique organization because I don't think that there is anything quite like Utah's Feeding Families. So can you tell us, maybe start us out, where did the idea for this nonprofit come from?
Yeah. So Jamie, the founder, years ago when she lived in Chicago, had a situation with her family where her kids discovered homeless people eating out of the trash can. And it kind of evolved from them helping feed the homeless into they wanted to help people who didn't qualify for government assistance, but made too much to qualify, but not enough to pay their rent or buy food. So the initiative really is keep people housed and keep people fed. So it evolved from feeding the homeless to feeding families now. So we help get that middle class of people the help that they need. Everybody deserves to get some sort of assistance. And when you make too much, sure, what do? You're kind of just stuck. So we're there to help those who are trying and working, but work too much, sure, to get that assistance.
I think many people listening right now can understand exactly what we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially right now.
Exactly, yeah, this year especially, right? The fact is that, and the tragedy is, in a perfect world, something like Utah Families Feeding Families wouldn't even need to exist. But we don't live in that world, and it's filling a need that is really out there. But I have to assume, at least, Keisha, that a lot of these families, because they're in that, for lack of a better word, sort of a gray area, where
mm-hmm.
they, for the most part, they have enough, but there are these gaps in the family budget, especially at the holiday times. These are probably the families least likely to ask for help as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. The people that we help, it's kind of unique too, because you may be in that gray area, like you said, but we approve people and we help people based off their situation too. Like for example, we've helped people or a family a couple years ago. Dad made 6 figures a year, but their child had cancer and they were going back and forth, the hospital and taking off work. So yes, he made money, but at that point, there's all these other trials that has to go into their lives now, and they can't afford anything. So like that is just one example of how we help those people. But it's hard for these people to ask for help too, because they are so self-reliant, and they're like, well, but I am working. But so it's kind of hit and miss with each family and how they approach us. But asking for help is hard.
Sure. This one hits close to home, very personal for me, because this is the family I grew up in. There was enough. We never went without shoes or coats or anything like that. But there were years when it was, too little butter spread over too much bread. I think it would be a good way to put it. And that would especially hit home as the temperature would cool and the garden would freeze and the holidays would come up and the family plans that take a lot of time and also money, especially if you've got, multiple children. And it would just, it was a very stressful time for our parents and for my parents.
Yeah.
And that is for listeners out there where Utah Families Feeding Families comes in. They do some really, really unique stuff. Check them out again at UtahFamiliesFeedingFamilies.com. But they operate throughout the valley for honor system-based porch-located food pantries. And everyone is welcome to this. If you have need, that's what these are for. All the groceries and donations come from within the community, oftentimes from within that very neighborhood. and they also invite people, if you are ahead and you can spare, drop something off, a box of cereal, a gallon of milk, or something like that. And I love this on the website. It says, why do we do this? Because people deserve food. But for listeners out there is a way you can get involved and help them do what they do ahead of their biggest event of the year. And Keisha, I'm excited to talk to you about this one. Tell us about the annual Utah Families Feeding Families Santa's Helpers program.
Yeah, so it's our biggest one, like you just said. We do a back-to-school program similar, but Christmas is huge. So it's kind of like Sub for Santa. Families go in and apply. We approve them. We put their names on, not their names, sorry. We keep everything private. We put the wish list on like a sponsor form. People can go in and sign up and click the child they want to buy Christmas for, and it gives their wish list, gives their age, what they're into, what they need. And we actually encourage these parents to have their children fill out these, at least if they can. At least they tell mom and dad, well, this is what I want for Christmas. And we want them to do that as these parents fill out the applications. But what makes us different than like Toys for Tots and Sub for Santa, where you have to, be income-based, we do ask for your income, but we just want to see if you are meeting that gap. Like, are you working? Are you making money? But, how much do you pay in rent, mortgage, et cetera? Sure. So we do ask for that, but we don't approve you based off your income. Again, it's each situation. And so that's what I like about it. Because there are families, like I said, before, that make too much, but they still deserve to have a Christmas. And it doesn't matter how much they make, there's bills. Everybody has bills. But yeah, you can go on it and you can click whatever child you want as we approve. We've been actively approving children right now. So if anybody goes on there and there's only one kid, just give it a couple hours. We'll have more because applications are coming in like crazy. But the really cool thing about us is for each child, we have a box that is wrapped in Christmas wrapping paper. We don't want to give gifts in, a regular old garbage bag. So we put all the gifts in a wrapped box, look nice and pretty. We wrap every single gift, and each child gets their own box. So for one, you're not going to mix up your kids' gifts, but it just makes it really special, like as if Santa did this for you. They're already wrapped. The parents don't have to do anything. It's just they pick up the gifts and Christmas is ready for you. And we try to get each teenager a fast food gift card because a couple years ago there was this boy. All he wanted was a $10 McDonald's gift card to go off. He went to high school. You can leave and go get lunch on off campus. And his friends always went to McDonald's, and he never had money to go. And all he wanted was a gift card to go to McDonald's with his friends for lunch. And so that's kind of where that started with the gift cards is we get each teenager like a $10, $15 gift card to whatever fast food restaurant. And we try and get grocery gift cards ranging from $25 to $50 for each family as well, so that they can, get necessities to get them by, until next payday. So we do a lot of unique things to get these kids Christmas. And then I should add cereal. We give each kid at least one box of sugary cereal because, again, 2 years ago, a little kid wanted on their list sugary cereal because it's expensive. You want some Cocoa Puffs. That's way more expensive than, checks. Sure. So that's one really cool thing that we do is we collect cereal and they get a box of cereal wrapped in wrapping paper. So it's really neat, the things that we do. Not your regular old Christmas gift. So
it's such a creative thing to do. And for listeners, just to give you some examples, and again, at UtahFamiliesFeedingFamilies.com, you can see the Santa's Helpers list of children with needs, and just some quick examples. This is cracking me up. But so there is a 15-year-old girl that is a huge fan of scary movies and will not wear green. I love this.
We make them be specific.
Everyone can relate. Everyone has or knows a child like that, and we know how to shop for them, right? So
exactly.
But seriously, there is a long list of children in need here, and these have all been nominated by families in Cache Valley neighborhoods, and the list of needs run from simple things like body wash and T-shirts to specific things like skateboarding helmets and their favorite hobby and interests, fulfilling some of those needs. There's an 11-year-old boy here who is a huge fan of Shrek, and you can go and you can help out. It's a really simple thing to do, but again, this is huge for these families and easy for most of us to do. Now, if you don't have the time to fulfill the wish list or choose a child here on the list, you can make an impact by literally making a donation, and even more of an impact by making that a recurring donation of $10 a month, $20 a month, whatever you can afford. And again, that is Utah Families, feedingfamilies.com. And Keisha, before we part ways, you mentioned this, but Santa's Helpers is the biggest thing that you do every year. But you help out filling some of the gaps with summer school lunches, and you mentioned it there. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the Back to School program because this is also a unique thing for those out there listening. How does this work?
So very similar to our Christmas. Again, you apply, we approve based off situations. We have people, sponsors in the Valley, again, sign up for a child. It's the same thing, has interest, but we want them to have, sorry, I might get emotional.
I would too.
The back to school is like, this is the one I run. Jamie Avery runs the Christmas for the most part. But we make sure that each kid has a backpack. And in that backpack, we make sure they have supplies based off what grade they're going into. And then a first day of school outfit and some shoes. There are a lot of kids that don't get that, and we want these kids to go to school on the first day feeling confident and, look at my new shoes, look at my cool outfit. So that's like our priority. We'll give them a backpack, supplies, great, but we want them to feel great and look good the way that they would want to, in something brand new. Yeah, and then actually we also, what is really cool, we have hairstylists volunteer their time.
I love this. You take them for a haircut before their first day.
Yes.
But that is so huge at those ages.
Yep, it
right?
is. And these hairstylists volunteer their time. And this last year, I think we had one guy stay for like 8 hours, I think. And he's at the Boneyard Barbers. His name's Cody. Go there. He's amazing. I actually take my kids there now. But they volunteer their time and give these kids a first day of school haircut. So it is really a neat thing. And then we feed them breakfast. We do a free breakfast that same day when you come get your haircut and when you come get your backpack. So it is really a neat program. And we just these kids are important to us in this valley. There's so many that need the help, and that's why we're here. We're here to help those who, can't fulfill their duties as, it's in this economy right now. So,
and
yeah.
I think everyone can relate, and this is just such a unique way to help. And that, and Keisha, that is so cool, honestly. Get them all dressed up, get a haircut, all of that stuff for their first day. Because I remember those first days of school, and you want to make your best impression, right?
I know.
When you're
it's
that
exciting.
age.
I know. My kids love it.
This is amazing stuff. Again, Utah Families Feeding Families is the website, and the Back to School program. Now they do offer opportunities for you to help year round, and also if you can volunteer time, check with them. Because they may have some opportunities for you to help out in that way as well. But right now, of course,
and we do a wrapping party.
Oh, really? Okay.
For Christmas. I forgot to mention that. We're splitting it out this year. We're going to do it over 3 days time, but we have the community Christmas gift.
Okay.
And it is so much fun. And we usually have Santa for Santa pictures. It's really fun. The wrapping party, and it goes all day. Sometimes we get done sooner than years prior because of how many people have just learned about us. But yeah, it is really cool. People bring their kids and wrap gifts all day. It's kind of like Santa's little workshop.
That is very cool. This is honestly an opportunity to make kids Christmas or early before the school year next year. Make a kid's first day of school, all through the work done by Utah Families, feedingfamilies.com.
Yep.
If you want to sponsor a child, the Santa's Helpers program begins officially December 1st, and with a December 19th deadline. As Keisha said, they do have to have time to collect the gifts, make sure they're wrapped, and get them out to kids for Christmas. So that December 19th deadline is necessary. And you can see a list of children that have already been nominated or sponsored, if you will, for being part of this program at Utah Families, feedingfamilies.com. Just click on the Christmas tab there. Again, if you don't have time or the ability to help in other ways, a financial donation to help all of the volunteers at Utah Families, feedingfamilies.com would be more than welcome. And if you can make that a recurring $10 a month donation, they can then factor that into their budget and plan accordingly. Just a really, really unique organization again. And it is, Keisha, you talked a little bit about this, but as Chief Operating Officer, Vice President of the board for the organization, I assume this grows every year.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you for a sec. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just.
Anyway, go ahead. So sorry.
I was just saying. I assume that the need grows each and every year. For those who would like to get involved and volunteer time, should they just reach out via the contact information on the website, or do you have specific events to tell them to watch for?
So we do everything through our Facebook page.
Okay.
That's where announcements are put. That's where we usually have forms where you can sign up to volunteer on a specific day and a specific time. So everything is just communicated through our Facebook page.
Perfect. And for listeners, I've linked to that on our own Facebook page if you're driving now, but you can simply search on Facebook for Utah Families, Feeding Families, and again, visit their website, utahfamiliesfeedingfamilies.com. And our guest again today has been Keisha Pink, Chief Operating Officer and Vice President of the Utah Families Feeding Families Board. And Keisha, really appreciate you taking so much time for us today, and just love this organization. I love the creative way you guys are going about this, and best of luck. I hope you get a lot of people stepping up to help this season, and thank you for taking some time for KVNU today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Oh, our pleasure, and hope we'll speak again soon.
Okay, thank you.
Again, for our listeners, that was Keisha Pink, Chief Operating Officer of the Utah Families Feeding Families organization based here in Cache Valley, to help them out with their Santa's Helpers program starting December 1st. Visit utahfamiliesfeedingfamilies.com, and we'll be back with more of For the People after the news with KVNU's Will Feel Right.
Well, thanks, Jason. Voting rights groups from around the country are hailing a Utah judge's order that overruled the legislature's choice for voting districts, choosing instead a map that doesn't gerrymander the state into 4 safe Republican seats. Now, in a case that had been pending since 2021, State District Court Judge Diana Gibson ruled last week that the map approved by lawmakers did not align with Utah's natural political geography and electoral conditions. Now, Utah League of Women Voters President Catherine Beal calls it a win for all Utah voters.
Made a difference for the voters. It just gives every single voter a voice, and it sends a message to the legislature that they have to represent their constituents, not just the ones they choose, every single one of them.
Now, the Utah League of Women Voters and Mormon Women for Ethical Government were among the plaintiffs in the lawsuit. The change could affect the outcome of the 2026 congressional elections, where both national parties have encouraged states to redistrict to tilt the electoral playing field. But Beal says that this ruling is about fairness and not partisan advantage.
It just says that the legislature must draw maps that are fair, that consider communities of interest, that are contiguous, that divide cities and counties in fair ways, not 13, 14 times, or as in Salt Lake and Mill Creek 4 times.
Now, Democrats have not won a U.S. House seat since 2018. Some state Republican legislators have vowed to impeach Judge Gibson after the ruling, and several threats against the judge on social media have been reported since the ruling was announced. In other news, a Brigham Young University men's basketball player has been suspended indefinitely following an arrest last week for driving under the influence and marijuana possession. Now, junior Kennard Davis Jr. was involved in the traffic accident back on Thursday of last week, where a Provo police officer suspected impairment and performed sobriety tests. Now, according to a police report that was obtained through a records request, the officer arrested Davis for suspected DUI and also seized marijuana from his vehicle. Now, the case has been referred to prosecutors. Davis, who's a transfer from Southern Illinois University, has been suspended for violating team rules. That's according to John McBride, BYU's Associate Athletic Director for Communications. Now, the length of the suspension is still being determined, and no formal charges have been filed against Davis. Well, these clouds expected to linger overnight tonight as temperatures have been in the low 50s today. Tonight will drop to around the mid-30s. Still could see a small chance of some raindrops overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning, but the clouds expected to clear out by Thursday. That's going to leave us with some sunny skies beginning Thursday afternoon. Temperatures staying in the low 50s, and it looks like sunshine is expected to continue Friday and into the weekend. And it's Allen Law Office that brings you our weather on the 6s. Yeah, it's not a good idea to put off putting together a will and trust because you never know when an emergency might take place, and that's why you want to contact Jace Allen. He is Northern Utah's estate planning attorney. Call him today at 435-227-5468 and get peace of mind for you and your family. I'm Will Feelright with your KVNU News Headlines.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. The White House now in possession of the bill passed by Congress to compel the Justice Department to release the Epstein files, say two senior Republican aides. This is today. Attorney General Pam Bondi says the DOJ now has new information on the Epstein files.
There's new information, additional information, and again, we will continue to follow the law, to investigate any leads. If there are any victims, we encourage all victims to come forward, and we will continue to provide maximum transparency under the law.
President Trump's hand-picked U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan revealing to a judge the full grand jury never saw the indictment against former FBI Director James Comey. Comey's lawyer is asking the whole case be thrown out. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro says he's opened a dialogue with President Trump. This amid a U.S. military buildup in the region and as Trump continues to weigh whether to strike targets inside of Venezuela. This is ABC News.
When the snow starts flying, be sure your tires are ready. At Express Tire, they work with all vehicles and all tire sizes with safety and comfort a priority. As a Point S Tire team member, you're backed by a nationwide warranty that includes roadside protection. No appointment needed. Just stop in and they'll get your tires winter ready. 3200 North Main.
Express Tire, tires for less.
Express Auto, where tires and service come together.
Winter's here and that old car sitting in your driveway isn't getting any warmer. Turn that frozen junker into cold hard cash with DD Auto and Salvage in Logan. It's never too cold, too wet, or too late to clean up and cash out. DD Auto and Salvage makes it quick and easy. They'll even pick it up for you. Get the most money possible for your junk vehicle or scrap metal and earn a little extra holiday cash while you're at it. Call 787-1204. That's 787-1204. And let DD Auto and Salvage pay you today. DD Auto and Salvage. Cold cars turned into hot cash.
Old McDarrell has a farm and appliance farm
with down-home country prices and big city selection.
E-I-E-I-O. When you're looking for a friendly spot to drive a little and save a lot, hey, Old McDarrell has a farm, an appliance farm. Darrell's Appliance. Low overhead, but lots of country charm. See Darrell's Appliance in beautiful downtown Benson.
The patio is open, the chips are endless, drinks on tap. You know it's got to be Cafe Sabor, Cache Valley's best Mexican restaurant, gold winner in the Best of Northern Utah contest. Experience Locals Day every Thursday with a huge burrito, endless chips and soda, only $7.95. That's a complete lunch for just $7.95. Finding any lunch under $10 is nearly impossible. Every Thursday, drinks, chips, and massive burrito, just $7.95. The patio, the sun, the fun at Cafe Sabor in the historic train station on 6th Weston Center in Logan.
Addiction does not discriminate. If you or someone you love is struggling with addiction, you're not alone. There is hope out there. Renaissance Ranch has been teaming up to provide a place for healing. They understand themselves how powerful it is to overcome addiction. If you've lost hope or if you're scared for someone you love, there is a way back. Renaissance Ranch is there to help you out. You can learn more by going to renaissanceranch.net or visiting their location right here in Logan.
Hey golfers, Black Friday at Birch Creek is going on now. Punch passes, $170. All remaining golf shirts and shoes, half price. All remaining golf hats, $15. All remaining golf bags, 25% off. The Black Friday sale at Birch Creek is going on now. A limited number of $170 punch passes will be sold. That's Birch Creek Golf Course in Smithfield.
My son Ian was diagnosed with a brain tumor at the age of 16 months. The outlook was pretty rough. I mean, it was, we had no hope until St. Jude rescued us. I mean, they saved him. To this date, we are 12 years into this journey, and from day one, we've never once seen a bill. It gave us the peace of mind to know that we're there with our son, and we're gonna beat cancer together. Now, he is doing really, really well. He's alive because of what St. Jude has done. He's here because of the doctors who came before, their blood, their sweat, their tears, the knowledge accumulated and shared, with everyone else around the world. This is how we get rid of this, how we help kids beat cancer all over. It's the future.
Together, we will make cures possible for every child everywhere. Learn more at stjude.org.
Hi, it's Olivia Munn with my shelter pets, Frankie and Chance, reminding you that when you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the Humane Society of the United States, and Maddie's Fund.
Senator Mike McKell. He is on the, I was going to say on the rampage, but that sort of makes it sound like I'm mocking his efforts here, and I'm not, because I have no idea what he's talking about, or I've never heard of this before, but it's definitely noteworthy news. This is state senator saying it is time to ban a product that is, after I saw some of his footage that he posted to his Twitter account earlier this week, I just kind of checked at some local convenience stores, and he's correct about one thing. This is widely available. I had never heard of this before in my life. Senator Mike McKell, though, introduced a bill this week that would put a statewide ban on a very obscure drug called Kratom, Kratom. And if passed, Utah would join 7 other states, to my count, in banning its sale altogether, which would mean that these 7 states, if Utah would join, that would be 8 states that have a stricter regulation on this drug than the federal government. Kratom is a natural psychoactive ingredient derived from a tropical tree in Southeast Asia, and depending on dosage, it can be either a sedative in low doses or a stimulant in high doses, and it is found in a lot of, the sections of the store where you're going to find your energy drinks, not the drinks, you've seen the little bottles of, I'm not going to mention a brand name because not all the brands have kratom in it, but it is very common in a lot of the wake-me-up drugs. Or bottles of liquid and things like that, or even pills. You could get pills at. Well, I'll mention this one because it's not here in Cache Valley, but at the Pilot on 12th Street in Ogden. I have noticed these on the wall behind the clerks there, next to the condoms and cigarettes. You can buy these capsules of natural, and it says right on there, natural kratom. So, again, this is derived from a plant in Southeast Asia. It's been in circulation and use for years. In fact, in parts of Asia, it's used by doctors in certain medical procedures. But here in the United States, the Food and Drug Administration has not really looked into it that much. The Justice Department's Drug Enforcement, the DEA, they have labeled the drug a drug of chemical concern. And what that means is that they're not putting this up there with addictive substances or substances that are already regulated under federal or state laws or banned outright. But they are putting it up there as a drug that they believe there is evidence to be on their radar in law enforcement efforts for various reasons. One, it's a stimulant and can make people act differently, is a way to put it. The Trump administration's FDA commissioner, Marty McCary, not a made-up name, just one that's really hard to say on the radio, Marty McCary, said that, speaking for the administration, says that at a recent press conference, said that the core disagreement here is actually a problem of natural kratom versus synthetic look-alike that is sold in stores and is cheaper as an additive. McCary said the administration believes that there is a night and day difference between the natural version of kratom put in a lot of these energy supplements and energy drinks and synthetic kratom, which has far more powerful psychoactive effects. According to State Senator Mike McKell, some of those effects include hallucinations and an emotionally addictive euphoric effect. This is just a little bit of a video that Senator Mike McKell posted on his Twitter page, Mike McKell, Utah, earlier this week, where he just literally goes out to convenience stores around his own neighborhood to see if he can find this drug.
So I learned about kratom a long time ago. I feel really strongly today with what I know now that this is a very harmful product. And I want to play a voice message. This example is
Get on board. The water is open. It's time to go boating and fishing and leave stress in our wake. Feel the wind as we ride and a fish on the line. Reel in our first catch and feel the sun at our backs. It's get out on the water season. It's time to get on board. Find out where to get on board near you. Visit Take Me Fishing and Discover Boating to learn more. And please recreate responsibly. Get on board. Get on board.
I was getting a 5-hour energy like I do every Saturday afternoon, so I know the guy working there. And he's like, hey man, we got these new energy drinks in, blah, 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 and he gives me one for free. Well, I end up drinking it. Within 2 weeks, I was drinking 10 of those a day. The hardest thing is like my drug of choice is on the gas station shelves.
I want people to realize this is a very easy product to buy. So we're going to go purchase some kratom and we're going to see what we can find today. It's down the street from my house. I just need more. It's all going. She kind of hesitated. She went to grab it and then realized she couldn't. We're going to actually get that tested to see how accurate the levels are with the state lab. If these levels are accurate and these are the amounts that are allowed, clearly those amounts are addictive and hurting the public. So my impression is we should ban it. I think this is a product that is, there's no question it's being abused in the public right now. And I'm told that our kids are gaining access to this very, very dangerous drug, and it's time to take a stand and do something about it.
That again is just a bit of audio from Senator Mike McKell's video posted via his Twitter account earlier this week. He went out around his own neighborhood to see if he could buy this and whether he was ID'd for it, which here in Utah, by the way, we do have some regulations on this already, including that a person must be 18 years of age to purchase one of these energy supplements with kratom in it. For those tuning in again, kratom is a natural derivative of a tropical tree in Southeast Asia. It's used in medical procedures in Asia. The FDA doesn't warn against its use. In fact, they've said that they don't have enough data on it to say one way or another. But the DEA, the Federal Drug Enforcement Administration, says they do consider kratom a chemical of interest, which basically means that if someone's arrested or if there's an interaction with someone in a law enforcement capacity and they have maybe mentioned or it is known that they have kratom in their system, that can alter how law enforcement responds, because it in high doses can make a person hallucinate or become extremely aggressive. Again, this is found in many of those popular energy drinks, the little bottles that you see at the checkout stand. I even noticed at the 12th Street Pilot in Ogden once, coming back from Salt Lake, that the Cryptic Kratom brand energy pills were available hanging on the shelf there behind the clerk with the cigarettes and condoms there at the gas station, at the Pilot on 12th Street. So these are widely available. The American Kratom Association, responding to Senator Mike McKell's call on Monday for a full-on ban, says they disagree. They told the Deseret News in an interview that there is clear science supporting regulation, not full-on prohibition, and that the American Kratom Association and the kratom manufacturers themselves and the companies who put kratom as an energy supplement into these little shot-sized drinks should not be punished for those who are taking shortcuts with the synthetic kratom. The synthetic kratom-like substances, one is called 7-OH, are the problem, the association says, not natural kratom. McKell, though, says that everything should be banned outright because he believes the drug is dangerous. And again, the association firing back, saying you're lumping natural kratom together with this synthetic knockoff, which is dangerous, but natural kratom is not and has been used for centuries in medical practice in many Asian countries. So right now here in Utah, a couple of years ago, 2019, McKell was the sponsor of a bill called the Kratom Consumer Protection Act, and was a co-signer on the bill, and that was a bill that put the regulation in place, which is labeling like we do with cigarettes, and then selling requirements, age restrictions, and things like that. It must be behind a counter. It can't be right out there on the counter anymore like it used to be. And McKell is now saying we need to go further and actually ban this. The Kratom Association, Kratom Manufacturers Association, via a representative, Bill Haddo, said, we're ourselves actually for banning the synthetic 7-OH and other synthetically derived compounds from 7-OH that are scientifically referred to as pseudodoxyl. Another one is MGM-15, he mentions. He said that's what any legislation should do. But I think going after natural kratom, which has a centuries of history and a proven scientific track record of being safe when used correctly, would not be appropriate to ban this outright. So that's basically where things stand. State Senator Mike McKell is opening a bill file that he says will be a full-on ban on kratom products with kratom in it in general, and the association firing back saying, you're citing the dangers of the synthetic knockoffs that are being made when there are no dangers in their opinion, and they say the science backs them up to the natural derivatives of this tree. McKell, during his investigation, said one of his biggest concerns was just how easily obtainable kratom and kratom-containing products are. Again, gas stations, convenience stores, even grocery stores, he said he found them in. And said the reality is they are extracting the plant form of kratom, and they are making the plant form of kratom. The mighty gynine is the chemical way more potent, and kratom plant itself is harmful, and people are getting, at least emotionally, addicted to what is, in the end, a chemical high. It's interesting. Kratom, by the way, isn't classified alongside other traditionally controlled substances or opioid and stimulant-like effect drugs. But kratom has shown in studies to produce opioid-like and stimulant-like effects similar to heroin in strong enough concentrations. That's according to the National Institute on Drug Abuse. They reported just last year in a study, people reported using kratom to manage drug withdrawal symptoms and cravings, especially related to opioid use and quitting the use of opioids. Pain, fatigue, and mental health problems were oftentimes frequent reasons for personal use as well. We'll see where this goes. Obviously, the U.S. regulates opioids, but obviously, as well, kratom is not an opioid, but it apparently functions similar to one in high enough dosages or doses, and McKell says we should ban it outright. And again, the Manufacturers Association saying don't punish those who are being responsible using the natural kratom derived from the tree. Punish those who are making the synthetic versions, which is where the danger actually arrives. We'll see where it goes. This will be debated in the upcoming 2026 legislative session kicking off in January, and no language for it yet, but it will be there soon. McKell says the bill can be found at le.utah.gov, the legislative website. For his part, I just want to add this. McKell is not he's not one of those state lawmakers I would put in the reactionary category. Very calm guy. The video he posted, well, I'll be honest, it had vibes of that original Sean Reyes pretending to be an action movie star in Operation Underground Railroad's first documentary, quote-unquote documentary. We have to say that now after all the news around Operation Underground Railroad the last few years. But that's not who this guy is. I don't know him super well. I've met him several times. And there are certain, I'll put it this way, there are certain lawmakers that could come out and say something like this, and I would think, you are such a panicking. You're just one of those lawmakers. You see them in both the Republican Party and the Democratic Party that one negative story or a handful of negative stories about something, and they're just through the roof, ready to take drastic action about it, whether it's a real, problem or not, or some isolated incidents that they heard about. McKell is not that lawmaker. He's a conservative Republican. He's a calm guy. He is someone who in the past has spoken out against when prohibition has been proposed for pornographic websites. He was one of the state lawmakers that said, well, I don't think we should actually be legislating our morality like that, but we should require them to prove people are 18 before they can use the site, was a comment he made on the Senate floor. So he's a calmer, reasonable guy, but he is saying that he thinks he's seen enough and that the state of Utah needs to ban outright this widely available drug. That he said anyone could go out right now and with ID showing they're over the age of 18, buy this at almost any convenience store throughout the state. And if they take enough of it, it works on the body like heroin. Interesting stuff. check it out. I've posted a link to the interview he did with Deseret News and the video he posted to his Twitter account earlier this week, both linked on our Facebook page. And we'll be back with more of For the People right after this.
Hi, this is Brooke Stevenson.
Ty Smith.
And David Castor with Adams Wealth Advisors. We're truly honored to be named Best of Northern Utah Gold winner for the Best Financial Planner. This community means everything to us, and we're grateful for every customer who made this possible. Thank you for your trust.
Advisory services offered through Adams Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. For important disclosures and more information, visit adamswealthadvisors.com. That's adamswealthadvisors.com.
There are people in this world who don't just work the land, they live by it. They greet the morning long before the sun does. Their word means more than ink on paper. They can fix an engine, nurse a sick calf, and stretch a dollar further than anyone should have to. For the men and women who feed America and never ask for applause, West Motor Company salutes you. Thank you for raising the food that fills our tables, for your grit, your hard work. West Motor Company is proud to sell Ram and Ford trucks to help you do your job. So right now, farmers and ranchers can take an additional $500 off our lowest price. That's $500 plus $9,000 off Ford F-150s, or up to $12,000 off Ram 1500s, or 0% and no payments for 90 days. That's an extra $500 off every rebate, discount, and offer we can find. West Motor Company, 80 years strong and still driven to serve you.
If you're thinking about getting engaged this holiday, shop S.E. Needham Jewelers. We always offer an integrity price guarantee. In fact, at Match Quality, you'll find our prices to be as low or lower than any store in the state. We consistently beat any 50 to 70% off sales, internet pricing, or so-called wholesale deals. In fact, we even price our diamonds at internet pricing. So you'll get S.E. Needham quality at internet prices. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 7, where Utah gets engaged. S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign of the clock.
That's our show for today. Tomorrow on the program, the For the People Theater Hour and a spotlight on the Cache Community Core.